Hi there, this is DeneenTB, and welcome to the Truth in Business Show. I am your faith-based business strategist and clarity coach, and today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Michelle Anderson, and she's going to be talking to us about when God asks you to run a business and a nonprofit. So I hope you'll join us for this conversation. So, Michelle, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you so much for having me here, Deneen.
Now, we're in my house today. Usually I like to be where they are in their environment, but I love the fact that you came up to my house, that we're going to get to be cozy here on my couch. So that's kind of fun. What I love about what you do, Michelle, is that God has called you, I feel like, to do so many things. And we've talked before about being a multi-passionate entrepreneur, but yes. I think yours is a little bit more specific in that you have your business. Now, let me see if I can say all of it. It's called Lovelogical, DNA Not Required.
Yes.
So what prompted you? What started this? How did you get into this particular business?
I was born into this business.
Okay. God primes us for everything.
God primes us for everything. Sometimes as you grow in life, you understand what you were born and destined to do. And there was about 7-8 years ago, honestly, I have mentored for so many years. My Lovelogical grandson, Joshua, said, "Grandma, how are you my grandma if you're not my mother's mom?" And honestly, that next morning, I woke up and Lovelogical flew off of my tongue as soon as I came up. And so I know that God gave it to me in a dream. Because it's not often that you wake up and you say something that you've never said before.
So when you think of Lovelogical, how do you have a lot of words that are kind of behind that, right? So tell me about those words.
I put Lovelogical together. I sat down, I wrote it, and I looked at Lovelogical as 2 words, and I said no. And I put Lovelogical as 1 word. Because Lovelogical it's a business, but it's a noun.
So it doesn't matter if you're biological
or
non-biological.
You are Lovelogical. And I truly wish that my 5-year-old granddaughter was here, because I was in her classroom volunteering yesterday, and one of the children asked what my shirt meant. And she says, "It means Lovelogical, DNA Not Required. It means that we are all related." I'm going to backtrack just a little. Where Joshua came from, my Lovelogical grandson. His mother, Natasha Burks, yes, I'm saying her name, Natasha Burks, came into my life as a teenager. And at the time, she was Natasha Lockett. She was, in high school, just starting high school. And she was a part of a mentorship program in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I went to become a mentor. And it was the most unusual mentorship program, because they were literally drawing names of mentors and mentees.
So it was total random.
It was total random.
Total God.
Total. Wait a minute. This is hilarious. So Tasha walks up to me and she goes, "Hi, my name is Natasha, and you're my mentor."
Oh, before they did the drawing.
Before the drawing.
Okay.
So I looked at her and I go, "Well, hello, sweetie. How are you?" And I said, "What makes you think that I'm your mentor?" She said, "Because God told me." So I thought, this is very interesting. So Natasha ended up being drawn with my friend Kim. And I was with another young lady whose parents were not comfortable with her being with an African-American woman. She was a Caucasian young lady.
Right.
We kept in touch a few times, but the parents made it very difficult for us to be together. So Kim and Natasha went through their year. I tried through mine. Well, when that year came up, we went back, and you had a choice of if you were going to continue on for another year, or if you were going to randomly go back in for the draw. So, of course, me and my young lady went back in for the draw, because that was her parents' preference.
Right.
Well, Natasha wanted to go back in for the draw, because even though she loved Kim,
she wanted to get you.
She said that it was for her to be with me.
Okay.
Tasha and I were drawn together. Out of a minute, I just got goosebumps.
Seriously,
I'm not talking about 20, 25 people here. I'm talking about a room full of people.
That's amazing.
And we were drawn together, and we have been together since then. Tasha is a 41-year-old mother. She is an evangelist.
Oh.
She teaches prophetic classes.
Wow.
Her and her husband, Eddie, have been married. It's been so many years now. I don't remember how many years it's been. But I have been in Tasha's life. They have 6 beautiful children.
Wow.
I have been there for the birth of 5 of 6. I cut the last one's umbilical cord. And Joshua was my first Lovelogical grandchild.
Wow. So when you say you were born to do this,
yes,
that it's because you've been kind of a mentor for such a long time.
I was born into it because I was born into a blended family.
Okay. My
mother had 4 children from a previous marriage when she met my father.
Okay.
They married and they had me.
Mm.
My mother's ex-husband used to actually come over and have dinner with us. I played with my mother's ex-husband's children as a child.
This in itself, if you can't get anything else out of this woman will teach you how to be friends with your ex and all of theirs.
Yes, yes. I started mentoring as a teenager because I actually started one of Detroit's first adoptive grandparent programs when I was a student at Cass Tech High School. It was for a community service project that I did. I went to Crockett Vocational Center and we did it as a class. And my Lovelogical grandfather, his name was Ike.
Okay.
And Ike did not have a family, so we became Ike's Lovelogical family. And Ike would come and he would have dinner with us. And when Ike passed away, they were going to give what was called a pauper's funeral back then because he did not have anyone.
Right.
Well, my parents gave Ike a funeral.
Great examples that you had in
yes.
your parents
to
to just instill this in you, and now you're able to really make it go forth in a way that is bigger than that beginning project that you had that touched. Look at how many people that touched just from doing that. Yeah.
So many people have been touched by Lovelogical.
Now, I know when I first met you and I understood Lovelogical, DNA not required, you were doing things for foster children like their hair, getting the hair. Hairfidence. I love that. Hair and confidence. And you were doing that so they could be, look their best to go back to school and those kinds of things. So let's shift gears a little bit because you do have the business part. And I guess we should add, in the business part, you have a retail type of thing.
Yes.
And one of those things is what you're wearing right now, right?
Yes, my Lovelogical pendant. The one that I'm wearing now is 14 karat white gold and rose gold. And I have sterling silver. I have the dog tags that say family, DNA not required. And I also have t-shirts with the family, the DNA not required. And Detroit is actually the first one that I did because I am a born and raised Detroiter. Even though I moved away, I've come back home.
So you have the business part because, we all need to make money.
Yes.
We all need to make money. So I know that you, like you said, you're doing the prom, you've done hairfidence, you've done all these things for your foster children. That's where you were starting with the nonprofit side. Now, the nonprofit side is not called all of that.
No.
The nonprofit side is just DNA not required, right? So the DNA not required. So why has this been your strategy? What was put into your heart to make a strategy where you were having a business and a nonprofit?
To move it into a nonprofit. The reason why is because Lovelogical has it's taken a life of its own. And the business end of it, the retail portion, has allowed me individually to do a lot of the things that I've done. And I've had so many people that have come on board to help with hairfidence, to help with the proms that I've done, to help with providing for, for people, for homes, for, blended families and things like that. that I've done more than what I put out there publicly, because sometimes things are private. You know, sometimes things are private.
Right.
Well, it's gotten to a point to where there's such a need. There's such a need within the blended family community, within the adopted families community, extended families, you know, and the fostering community.
And a lot of people think that a nonprofit means that the people who are involved don't make any money, and that's not true. If you're running the nonprofit, you build into the system your salary. You build in the system the salary of those who are helping. Some are volunteers, some are not. And I know you have a lot of people that have come alongside of you as volunteers, and it's amazing.
I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the people who have helped me get to where I am, because I'm not a rich person. I am a single mom, and it's just been phenomenal, the growth that we've had within this last year with Lovelogical, and I can't say thank you enough to the people, to the community. I can't say enough. And our next project is to offer our t-shirts to nonprofit organizations and to also for-profit organizations for, you know, different price, of course. I have to say that. But so that they can get their message out that they are a family. You know, Dads and Daughters, you know, it's an organization in Waterford. They are a family. You know, so DNA not required. So they will actually get, you know, temporary licensing rights to use my DNA not required or the Lovelogical to be able to sell t-shirts to make money for their organizations.
Okay. Why don't you talk to the person out there in the audience who does have a business right now, is feeling like they want to do a nonprofit, but they're not sure if they add it or if it becomes that they're just in charge of the nonprofit. Speak to kind of your journey a little bit. And it's not that everyone has to do this, but I think a lot of times what I have seen is that when people feel like they should, they're so busy in their business and they don't feel like they're giving enough to the nonprofit, even though they feel like they should, and they don't always understand how they can work together. So I think you can speak to that.
When God puts it on your heart to have a business morph into a nonprofit, you don't have to separate. You don't have to have just one entity. You don't have to have it be a for-profit or a nonprofit. There are many businesses that truly work together and they have both arms, for-profit and a nonprofit arm to their businesses. Your for-profit arm can actually help to fund your nonprofit arm. Grow one business to the point to where you know exactly what it is that you want to do with the nonprofit. That's why my nonprofit is still in the workings now, because we want to make sure that we have that focus on what it is that we truly want to make the money to help grow. You know, my passion is helping foster children. Even though Lovelogical is about the adopted families, the blended families, the extended families, however, it's the foster children who do not have a permanent home.
You can't do this alone.
You can't.
It's not one of those things where God's put it in your heart and then you're supposed to just run with it.
No.
It's something where He's bringing these people and these resources into your life. Because really, what anyone does with their business is solve a problem.
Yes.
What they do with a nonprofit is the same thing. You see a problem, you're just doing it in a different or separate or a way that can benefit more people. Because most of the time, our Lovelogicals, our nonprofits are helping people who can't help themselves, who need our help, who need people to come around them. And if we think we can do it all by ourselves, I think that's where we get tripped up. If this isn't working, well, put that board together. Get those people.
Find another way.
And find another way. How do you really narrow it down, niche it down? What are some of the things that happen to you for you to say, maybe I should explore this more?
I listen to God. I pay attention to the situations that I'm in. I meet wonderful children. During Hereford Eds, we meet wonderful kids. Kids who they share sometimes their fears. They share their sadnesses.
Yeah.
But when they leave, they're happy, they're smiling, they're beautiful, and they look forward to coming back.
Yeah. You give them something that
Yes.
they can, like confidence in
Yes.
themselves when they leave, but then
Yes.
that hope for the future.
Yes, and when we listen to what they need.
Mm-hmm.
They need help.
Right.
They need to learn. I can tell you one thing that I'm looking for right now, and prayerfully someone who's watching this will be able to help me. I am looking for a foster group home within the metropolitan Detroit area that actually provides a home for children coming out of foster care or being emancipated from their biological homes, who they have children. I'm looking for someone that could take in young ladies and their children and teach them.
We know that God is in your everyday. We know
Every
that
day.
you understand this faith and business connection.
Yes.
And I love that a lot. Is there anything else that you would say to the woman out there who is in business, who's thinking about this nonprofit thing, or who's thinking of the nonprofit and going, I don't know how to make any money with it, you know, because people aren't really at the place anymore where we're just begging for money or doing fundraisers. We have to be creative. So
Mm-hmm.
do you have any advice for her that we haven't talked about so far?
The one thing that I just want to say is research and be open to learning. Be open to making the mistakes, as I've said, but find that class. Go through the Small Business Association, go to SCORE, find Deneen, talk to people who can help you understand where it is that you want to be, how to map it out, how to do your bubble drawings and everything,
Yes.
so that you can truly map things out for yourself. Find a detailed person. I have that detailed person. Torlise, yes, I'm calling you out. Find a detailed person who's going to keep you on task. Call that person and say, I need you to be my accountability partner, because I know that you are so detailed that you're going to be able to check everything I do. You're going to find my mistakes. You're going to say, no, don't do this. And again, I'm going to say, not a yes person. They cannot be a yes person.
Right.
Because if you have only yes people helping you, you're never going to get anything fully done. You know, you're never going to find your mistakes, and you're never going to be able to say, thank you, God, for showing me a different path.
Okay.
So
I love
you
that.
have to have that.
Yeah, I so appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yes.
I hope that it's been inspiring to you and challenging too, that you're encouraged to jump forward, to leap ahead in the way that God would have you. Make sure you put in the comments below anything that you want to ask Michelle, because
Yes.
we'll put all of her information down in the comments for the show as well. And make sure that you like this video. Make sure you ring the bell and subscribe so that you can know anytime that I have something coming up on the Truth in Business show here on the DeneenTB channel. I would love it if you would, again, connect with her. She
Yes.
probably would love to have a conversation with you about where you are and really tell you a little bit more about her journey and where she is. I thank you so much for being here today. I hope to see you the next time. And as always, be filled to overflowing.